Okay, for me, Pet Appreciation Week is every week. I mean, just look at this little baby here. I wish I could take her home, but you can. She's up for adoption. But I've got Andrea Arden. She's actually a pet expert. And this is Pet Appreciation Week. Officially, you've seen her on Animal Planet and so many other TV shows. Andrea, what can we be doing for Pet Appreciation Week?
Well, in honor of Pet Appreciation Week, Tractor Supply stores all across the nation are honoring this week by inviting rescue groups and local shelters to come in with animals available for adoption. So it gives people a really great opportunity to go into the Tractor Supply store and be able to meet lots of different animals in order to choose carefully their next furry family member.
And that's what I was going to ask. If you feel like you're kind of missing another little furry one in your life, you have some tips on how to kind of match and pick out the right pet for you, because that's a problem. Sometimes you think, I want a pet that's chill, and then you get one that's really active, like this guy right here, this little girl, and
right.
you know, you end up kind of regretting it. So if you are an active family, what kind of pet should we be looking at?
Well, you know, dogs of any size can be active. Like, for example, a Jack Russell Terrier could be a very, very active animal. But generally speaking, the working breeds like Siberian Huskies or Boxers, the guarding breeds, the herding breeds, German Shepherds, Dalmatians, those types of dogs do tend to have very high energy. And that's great for a family that is also high energy, that likes to do things like camping and hiking and running. But keep in mind that when you have a dog who you take with you on those outings, that's great. And one of the things you can bring with you when you take them on these outings, which is super cute, and you'll see it on Buddy, our little rescue pup back here, is a rough wear knapsack. So they can carry their own food and water with them. And they make them even in little tiny sizes, so dogs like Peaches could carry her stuff too, as long as it's not too heavy. But keep in mind, when you take them hiking and running, all that stuff's great, but you also need to provide them with an outlet for that energy when they're home. And one of the things that I think is best to do that are what we call food stuffable chew toys. So the Kong is a really good example. It's hollow in the middle so that you can take your dog's normal meals or special treats, put them in there, and then when you put it down, your dog is going to push that around with their nose and their paws. And that is a way to burn off not only physical but also mental energy, which is really important for all dogs, but especially those really active dogs.
Oh yeah, I got one of those at home for my little Chihuahua, and I got to tell you, she loves it. You know, and if you do have those really active dogs, a lot of land is great, but I live in a little tiny townhome, so, you know, I know a Chihuahua is good for that. What else, what other kind of dog maybe could we look at?
You know, Shih Tzus can be really great dogs for smaller spaces and people who are maybe not quite as active as other people. Pugs are good options. Some bulldogs, those are animals that typically you want to be careful and you don't want to take them out, certainly in the heat, but for very long walks because they tend to have some breathing problems. But one of the things to consider if you live in a smaller space or if you're looking for a dog who's a little less active is maybe an adult or a senior dog, because they tend to be a little more mellow. And they also oftentimes come house-trained, which is a really important thing for a lot of people. You know, little puppies like Peaches are super cute and they're super fun. But for a lot of families, you know, who are super busy, it's easier if they get an adult or a senior dog because then they don't have to worry so much about that long house training process.
Andrea,
and if you
so
do get a
much
senior dog or an adult dog...
Go ahead. What were you going to say?
Oh, I was just going to say, make sure you choose a food that's formulated for them, because every age is different, and 4Health is a really good option.
That's right. All right. And if you do get a dog, it's really great at teaching your kids responsibility, too. Andrea, thank you so much for the tips. I really appreciate it. And if you'd like more information, you can go to our website, fox4morningblend.com. Right, Piper? All right, they may be from down under, but they help millions of Americans worship through music. We've got a big treat for Christian music fans coming up. The details are after your headlines from Fox 4's Newsroom.